Hello and thanks for joining us on another edition of the GA Factor. This is where we bring into the studio my regular guests to analyze issues of social and political, sometimes economic relevance in Nigeria. And of course, this edition will be looking at a major issue that just rocked the political landscape of the country. And that is the exit of the big one, Bukola Saraki, President of the 8th Senate, 8th Assembly in Nigeria. He just resigned his membership of the All Progressives Congress and defected to the People's Democratic Party. Recall that Bukola Saraki was among those who created what we knew then as NPDP. NPDP simply means New People's Democratic Party, and they teamed up with other like minds at that time of the ACN, the Action Congress of Nigeria, and CPC of President Muhammadu Buhari, then General Muhammadu Buhari, to form what we know today as the APC. And well, we had some other smaller groups, ABGA and some other smaller associations that came together to form APC prior to 2015-2016 general election. And here we are today. In just about 3 years, Bukola Saraki, along with several others, have defected to the People's Democratic Party. Well, the national chairman of APC, Comrade Adam Oshiomhole, has said that people of low integrity, or those who don't have it at all, are those who will go back to eat their vomit. Well, that's from the chairman of APC. Well, Bukola Saraki and others like Buba Galadima and so many others like Governor of Kwara State have been saying that the APC has made their stay like a hell on earth for them. And that is why they didn't have any other choice than to leave the APC for them, and they went back to their former family, the People's Democratic Party. I mean, before Bukola Saraki, we had a governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, also defected, and we're hearing that any moment from now, about 6 other governors will likely join them in People's Democratic Party. What does it mean for the polity? What does it mean for Nigeria? Is it a good omen? Do we have people of principles? Do we have political parties based on ideology? Or people or politicians are just there for their own selfish purpose, or they're there to serve the country called Nigeria? We're going to be looking at this. I have my regulars in the studio in person of Mr. Nelson Ekujimi, a pro-democracy activist, and of course a social commentator. You're welcome to the studio.
It's a pleasure being here.
Also, GKB is a frontline analyst, a journalist, a blogger, and one man who people like to read his opinion on issues like this. You're welcome to the GA Factor.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Now, let me quickly start from Nelson. What do you make of Saraki's exit from APC and particularly back to PDP?
The Senate President has conducted himself in a manner that shows he belongs more to the opposition than the ruling party through which he came into the 8th National Assembly as the President of the Senate. So for some of us, it's like, the chicken has come home to roost.
GKB.
Don't you think that, Bukola Saraki, as a politician, has what we call inalienable rights to so choose the association he wants to belong to? Let me go to GKB for this question.
Well, he has gone back home. And like the prodigal son, they've welcomed him back even before the party belonged to UDP Query. Asking why he's been doing anti-party activities, which to me was the funniest thing that happened yesterday. Because the man has been doing anti-party activities from day one. The last 3 years. Everything he has done, including distorting the budgets, going against the grain of the party, ensuring that things were not done properly, delaying the budget of the Federal Republic, making sure that he rearrange things that were priority to the government that he serves. So for the party to now give him a query about the party activities when the door is already locked behind him. It's one of the funny things that happen in our politics. But yeah, Bukola Saraki has gone back home.
So do you think that Bukola Saraki is this in the light that you people are trying to paint him? For me, I just think that the guy is just a politician. There's nothing wrong with the way he became president of the Senate, and many of you are saying that there is something fundamentally wrong with it, morally speaking. But I also, I believe that morality and politics are two different issues.
No. Even in life, morality is a key feature of humanity, because one, Bukola Saraki belonged to a political party, and he came into that Senate not as Bukola Saraki, but as a representative of that party. Don't forget, we operate multi-party democracy. We don't operate individual democracy, individual posts, independent candidacy. We don't have that now. So one expects Bukola Saraki as a member of a party, which is an organization of people with rules and regulation governing their conduct, to at all times align with the regulations of that group or political party. But at the point wherever you deviate from the rules of the organization, it means you are becoming disloyal, and it means you are no longer fit to be a member of that group. So if you look at the emergence of Senate President Bukola Saraki, you realize that he emerged in contravention of the laid-down procedures of the party, and that does not show discipline, that does not show loyalty. So in as much as he has a right, that right must be exercised within the confines of the rules of that organization or political party that he belongs to, which he has violated.
To me, I believe that Saraki, is one of the leaders of APC, and he worked very hard. He contributed money to the emergence of President Muhammadu Buhari. So naturally, he should feel, that sense of feeling that, look, I have a right to aspire. I have a right to want to be something, or I should also be one of the people to have a bigger say in the political party. At what point do you disagree with this kind of mindset? Do you disagree with this kind of thought, Bukola Saraki?
Well, nobody has said he doesn't have the right to aspire. Aspiration is free. But while you are doing that, you cannot put your self-interest above that of the party. The reason why democracy is still called fledgling is this desire by individuals to think that they are bigger than the party. And that to me is dangerous, because what he did led to what also happened in the House, where the candidate of the party was also defeated by about 7 votes. Shows that there is a rebellion very early to circumvent the will of the party. You get temporary advantage, but ultimately this is where you end up. Because once you've started it, it's like riding the back of a tiger. If you are not careful, you end up in his belly. And what Saraki has done was that's why I said the thing that the party did to take away the party structure from him in his home state was to show him that we as a party owns the space. And whatever you've contributed is as a member of the party. Go and set up your own structure. This one we are taking back, because they don't want to be in a position where I hold them to ransom at the very eve of very fundamental elections.
I think GKB has made a fundamental point here. Pulling the plug of Saraki by dissolving Kwara State Exco. The national chairman of the party announced that, or Adams Oshomole. Do you think that marked a major turning point for Bukola Saraki?
Yes, definitely it did, because it showed that the foundation with which he could bargain or he could trade with the party at whatever level, and has already been taken off his feet. It's like pulling the rug off your feet. So he was left standing on a dry land, and because of that, realizing that, look, there was nowhere to fall onto again, he had no other option than to take the door out.
Well, taking the door out and going to the People's Democratic Party, do you think it's going to be a jubilation, celebration, and easy movement for Bukola Saraki at PDP?
Yes, he's going to do the same thing he did to APC in Kwara. And that's some of them already complaining. Because of his stature, he has the ability to take over the structure of the party wherever he is. And don't forget that some people have been working at that party as a minority party in Kwara for the last 3 years, and they will not be happy. It may be a fantastic thing for those at national level, but we all know that most politics are local.
The local.
And ultimately that's what we'll...
Well, I also know that...
out there in Kwara State, those guys, there's a resistance. Exactly. So a lot of people are saying that, look, you can't come from nowhere and want to come and hijack the structure of the party. Now, let's go to the next issue, which is at the national. Most of the time, all of these things point to 2019. Do you think Saraki'S exit, Ahmed's exit, Samuel Ortom's exit, and a whole lot of other senators who decamped from the All Progressives Congress to other parties, do you think this will affect the fortune of President Muhammadu Buhari?
Well, I don't think so, because even before now, people had expected, these people, to go back home, because that is where they came from. And looking at their conduct in the last 3 years, they have just revealed their true color. It's nothing new to the Nigerian electorate. It's an expected end that has come at the right time. So for some of us, it has no bearing on the 2019 general elections.
Do you share the same thought? Do you think it's a good time for APC that Saraki and his team?
Well, if you are going to war, you don't want to go to war with fifth columnists. That's even worse. It's better to go to war with 10,000 loyal people than go to 50,000 saboteurs. So I think that's what the APC chairman is trying to do. Ensure that those whose loyalty are to be questioned are quickly excised. So the party will know the size and the weight that they are going to an election with.
Exactly.
And they will not be under the impression that they have 29 governors when in fact they have only 19. At least you can work with that, knowing fully well that these people are loyal. And don't forget, our democracy has been the governor's democracy, what I call jokingly as governor-crazy.
Governor-crazy.
Because any major decision that they take, they try very much to make sure one of them emerges. Just like they did for Yaradua, just like they did for Goodluck Jonathan, just like they did for Oshiomhole himself. Because they hold the money, they are the owners of the purse. So when you say that people leave the Senate and the House of Reps, they have no choice. Because most of them very early start themselves to opposition to their governors. Very early. And ultimately, we all know that based on the current poverty level, it's the man with the purse that will determine the direction that people will go.
So President Buhari has nothing to fear?
He definitely has nothing to fear, but that does not mean that, you should go to sleep. It also means that the programs, the manifestos that, he enunciated to the Nigerian people that got him the votes in 2015, he should continue with those work and, let the work speak for him. And definitely the Nigerians are very, very enlightened. They know that a lot of these defectors are for personal interest, not for the collective interest of the Nigerian people. So as long as President Muhammadu Buhari continues to deliver on his electionary promises, he has nothing to fear.
Okay, well, gentlemen, I really must thank you for coming into the studio to analyze Saraki'S defection